This talk is SEO for your WordPress website. We're just going to dive right in. I'm just going to kind of give a lot of information. I'm going to keep it at kind of the entry level, just because we can talk for hours and hours about SEO. It really depends. Everybody's at a different level. All right, let me ask you: is anybody here? You got a site going where SEO is really going to make a difference for you? So we got a couple people in here that are focusing on SEO. So number one is have great content. The best thing you can do above all is have fantastic content that answers questions, that gives individuals what they're looking for when they're searching on Google. Google's holy grail is matching content with the user as fast as possible. If you type in Google search, Google wants to give you the content that you're looking for immediately, and that's every time they update, it's geared towards that. So no matter what you do, everybody's got their own tricks, their own things you got to do. The best thing you can do is make good, relevant content. I can't stress that enough. The second most important thing you're going to want to do is great keyword research. There's an unlimited amount of keywords you can try to rank for, and if you're in a very high competitive market, some of those keywords are quite frankly going to be unattainable. So when you're doing your research for your company or whatever it is that you're doing, you want to pull out relevant keywords that are obtainable, that you're able to rank. Because quite frankly, it doesn't matter if you're on page 15, page 10, you want to be on page 1. That's where you want to be, that's where you're going to make your money.
What do you mean by obtainable?
Ranking number 1, for instance, if you're in the medical field and you are trying to rank for a medical term, you're never going to rank for it unless you're an authority medical site, because Google knows. For important, there's different tiers Google says that are more important: money management, health. Google, unless you are an authority site and they know for sure you're spitting out great content, they're not going to put you on the first page of a medical term or something like that. It's going to be, at least it's going to be much more difficult, because Google wants the user to have that relevant info. So it's going to send them to WebMD or something like that.
You're not going to outrank Sears for Sears or something like that. That's unobtainable. Obtainable is something that you have an actual decent chance of getting to the front page.
And you want to mix in there too. Make sure your keyword not only is you're able to rank for it, but it's a buyer's keyword. We can rank for brick wall, but that's not going to funnel people to your site. That's not going to make people want to buy your product or whatever it is you're doing. So make sure it's obtainable and make sure it's a buyer's keyword. All right, next thing we got here is have unique content like pictures, infographics, and graphs. Google loves unique content, and this is beyond the text content. And another key about that is it's actually a lot easier to rank if you have a picture or infograph, something in that terms, because Google likes to stick those at the top of the search page. When you search something, it gives you your ads and your top 10 results, but a lot of times it'll also give you a bar with some pictures that you can scroll through, and videos and stuff like that. And it's actually pretty, I won't say it's pretty easy, but you have a better chance of ranking there than you do with your content. So you gotta make sure it's unique. Don't grab somebody's off the internet and reuse that. Google hates that, and you'll probably lose on that deal. All right. Now you're going to spend all this hard work on your unique content, pictures, infographics, graphs. Well, you got to make sure you label all of your non-text content so Google knows what it is. Hello.
Hi, Elaine.
Hey, Lynn.
So that's how Google finds your unique content. It can't read a picture. It can't look at a picture and say, that's a brick wall, or that's whatever it is I'm trying to get the message I'm trying to convey. So you gotta label it, and you can do that when you're uploading your picture to your media library. You can go click on a picture, and in your descriptions and in your alt tags, put a good, true description of what that graph is. Don't just fill it full of keywords. Don't just keyword stuff, because Google knows what that is. You want to describe what that graph is, but also try to make it relevant to your content and what you're trying to rank for. All right. Aim for at least 1,000 words a post. Does anybody have any opinions on that? What do you guys try to shoot for when you're trying to make content that ranks? Anybody?
500.
500, okay.
I guess mine is part of a question and an answer. I use the plugin Yoast,
Mm-hmm.
and they recommend like 300 words. And then they have all these other recommendations about active voice and length of sentences and
Right.
you know, keyword density. What is your opinion on?
Well, we get into Yoast a little bit towards the end. Though we show Yoast. I mean, in my opinion, Yoast is a very limited use as a tool. It's a lot of it. I mean, we use it for a couple of things, but that's really about it. You don't really want to worry about keyword density and all that stuff that Yoast gives you. We show you at the end how we use Yoast. But it does say 300 because the minimum minimum words you can have on your page for Google to rank you is 300. If it's less than 300, Google skips right over you. Their bots just go right past you and you just don't get ranked. The point of my question was pretty much every answer is correct. Anything beyond 300 words. And the reason why that is it depends on the level, the difficulty that your keyword is. If it's a keyword that you got to rank that's got a lot of competition, you're going to need a 2,000-3,000 word post. I've seen posts 5,000 to 7,000 words. If it's a relatively low competition keyword, you could probably get away with 600-700 words, maybe 1,000 words. If you have a lot of content on there, you probably won't need as much text as well. So what we do is we aim for at least 1,000 words per post. And our big money posts, I try to make them around 3,000 to 4,000 words. So shoot for at least 1,000. All right, this is a big one. Utilize the second largest search engine in the world, which is YouTube. And you can utilize that for multiple reasons. You can make backlinks for search rankings. When someone types in the search bar, it's easier to rank. You'll pop up as a video from YouTube before you'll rank through your text. Direct links, when you make a video, a lot of people nowadays are making videos that are getting a lot of hits and they're putting their associate links right in there or direct links right in the video. Some people aren't even using websites anymore. They're just getting all their affiliate cash right through YouTube. Brand building, obviously, authority marketing, obviously. Now, YouTube, it's still fairly easy to rank for YouTube when you put a video out there. There's a couple of things you can do. You SEO up your YouTube. I don't know how many people have uploaded and used a video through YouTube on their site or anything. Okay, so we got a few people. So you know when you're editing your video, you go into your description. It's the same thing. You want to have as much information and text in your description as possible. YouTube uses that to help. You'll have your little keywords at the bottom. You want to put in keywords that are relevant to your content, and you want to, just like anything else, any web page we build, anything, you want your title to really stand out. You want to draw that person in to click your video, and also Google likes. They're really trying to push their live streaming, so they're giving a little extra bump to live streaming. They like it when you put a custom logo in as your tag. They don't say they don't like it, but they prefer you put a custom thumbnail in there as opposed to just using a screenshot. All these little things will just help YouTube bump you up. So when someone's searching in Google, your YouTube video is more likely to show to the top, and that's big because if they go to there, obviously they'll go to all your other stuff. And also backlinks. A lot of people who deal with SEO, you'll either swear by backlinks or you hate backlinks. I personally don't like backlinks because they take so much time. I'd rather put that time into making great content and doing great keyword research. But the cool thing with YouTube is you create your own backlinks. We have some sites that has multiple YouTube videos on it, and every one of them has a backlink to a certain page. So granted, you're only going to get about a dozen or so backlinks, but those are good backlinks, especially if your YouTube video is hitting and people are clicking on that. Google owns YouTube, so they just love it. They just work together. All right. Do the little things. You can do all this stuff, but do the little things. Things like be secure. Make sure your site's HTTPS. Google likes that. They will penalize you now if you're not secure. And even if they don't penalize you, when someone searches you, your site's going to show up with a big thing that says this site is not secure, and they're not going to want to go there.
All of the browsers warn you now.
Yes. Be fast. Your site needs to be fast. One of the best ranking measurements that Google uses to rank is the user time on your page on time. Your page on time. And everybody knows if your site takes more than 3 or 4 seconds to load, that person's just going to go somewhere else. So if someone's clicking on your link and they click before your site even loads and click right away back to the Google search, Google knows that. And Google says, this is junk. I'm not going to show this at whatever ranking. It's going to drop the rankings. So keep your site fast. Be less spammy. This is a little personal preference of mine. Again, when someone goes to your site, last thing you want to do is throw spam at them. Me personally, I'll click right away from it, and that's a bad sign for Google again. So what you want to do is if you get someone to your site, you want them to sit there for a little bit of time. You want them to read the content and be engaged with your site. That tells Google that they did right by showing that person your site. Be mobile responsive. This is with the latest update. Google is focusing on mobile websites. We have finally hit the tipping point with, I think we've been there for a while, but Google's finally recognized that the majority of users are mobile users. So they are ranking sites for their ease of use for mobile sites. And we have some affiliate sites, and I've been getting some emails from Google basically telling me that we're okay, our site checks out of whatever it is checklist that they have for mobile sites. So if anybody has affiliate sites or anything like that, if you haven't already started getting an email, you probably will. Be accessible. Be accessible to all people who want to get to your site. That's blind people, anybody with a disability. Make it accessible. And it's not right now, but I believe eventually, it's just a matter of time before Google starts leaning towards sites that are accessible. It just makes sense. They haven't yet, but I feel like they will. Be useful. Don't just throw any junk out there on the internet and expect someone to love it and expect to hit #1. Be useful. Think about what content you're trying to put out. Think about the person that you're trying to speak to. Think about the problem you're trying to solve, and be useful. Use free tools. There are a ton of free tools out there. You really shouldn't have to pay for too much. I mean, if you are just hardcore on affiliate sites, or you're just your head SEO guy, you might want to pay for some stuff, but the majority of stuff out there is free. We've got stuff, we'll talk a little bit later about a Google Search Console, Google Analytics. That is an absolute must. Yes.
Keyword search, LSI keywords is a place we can go to.
That is not. That is at the bottom when you type into Google search and it gives you your 1 through 10. At the very bottom, it'll give you some blue words at the bottom. Those are your LSI keywords. Those are what Google expects to be in your article. For instance, if you're writing an article about The Simpsons, your LSI keywords, Google expects there to be words like Bart Simpson, Homer Simpson, Marge Simpson. Google expects there to be words like that in your article, so those are what it considers LSI keywords, kind of relevant words. Okay, we got keywords everywhere. Now I underlined this, and I'm going to show you a couple of screenshots. This is the most powerful tool you can have besides Google Search Console and Analytics. It is an absolute must. It is completely free. It's just completely free. It's a browser extension for Chrome, Firefox. It's just invaluable, and I'll show you why that is. We got Answer the Public. This has to do when I told you be useful. This is a great site, answerthepublic.com. This tells you what questions people are typing in on the internet. You can type in a keyword and it breaks down all kinds of questions that people are typing in. And when you have keywords everywhere, it also gives you extra information. But that's a great tool because you can see what the questions they're asking, and then you're able to cater your articles to that are obviously in the genre of your keywords or what you're trying to rank for. It's a very useful tool. Google suggestions. This is a little trick I use up in the Google bar, when you're typing in for your keyword, we'll say Apple. If I type in Apple space and hit A, it'll give me the most common word that users type in starting with the word A. If I go Apple space B, it'll show me that. Give me 5 or 6, 7 suggestions. Apple C, and it just goes through and tells you what most likely that the person's going to type next. And that's great because if you're dealing with WordPress, someone types in WordPress and they put in WordPress developer or whatever it is, we know that that's what the majority of people are searching for when they're searching for WordPress. So you're able to create a little bit more of a long tail keyword, but it's being searched for. Let's see here. We talked about the LSI keywords, KGR method. This is the keyword golden ratio. I don't know. Has anybody ever heard of that? No.
I have.
Golden ratio. Yeah.
Keyword golden ratio. It's actually pretty useful. It's a math problem. It helps you find underserved areas. If you just do a little research on it, it's amazing. But it allows you to find keywords that are being searched for less than searched for monthly, for under 250 searches a month, and for URLs. And it basically underserved keywords, and you're able to match your article's URLs with this. I'm not doing it any justice, but if you look into it, it's very useful. It's a great way to get some articles going. These ones, I typically do like my 500-600 word articles with the KGR method because you can get tons of them. And what that'll do is that'll open up your site to lots of different keywords. You'll start ranking for a bunch of different keywords, not so much for the keyword you're looking for, but you're in the genre, and you'll just be amazed at how many keywords you start ranking for. And then at that point, you can take it to the next level. This is keywords. This is keywords everywhere. I use Chrome, so it's a Chrome extension. This right here, it gives you the volume for WordPress developer. It tells me 14,800 people a month search for this. And then it comes over here and gives a whole bunch of other keywords that have to do with WordPress developer, gives you the monthly search. It gives you the cost per click as if you're doing AdWords or something in your competition. I don't pay attention to these. I'm looking at the monthly search volumes. And what it allows you to do too is you can pick each keyword and you can add all keywords or individually and export it as a CSV, and then you can import that right into your Google Sheets or whatever it is you're using. It's a fantastic tool. What it also does, this is the Google, what I was telling you about when you type in something, it gives you what most people are going to be typing in after this. But then it also, the keywords everywhere also gives you the same information, but also for these ones. So it really gives you a lot of info. I think we got one more.
So it adds it on as your.
It adds it on to here. Google naturally does this. Keywords everywhere will add on the pertinent information on the side.
So that's a plugin you gotta add?
It's not a plugin. It's just a download. It's a browser extension,
Okay.
and it's for Chrome and Safari.
KeyWordsEverywhere?
Yeah. Yes. Again, these are the LSI keywords I was telling you about. At the bottom of the search page, Google will always give you some other keywords here that are linkable. And these are its LSI keywords. So if you're making an article for WordPress developer, you want to come down here and add in there WordPress developer tutorial or some of these LSI keywords because Google expects to see those in that article. But again, even down with the LSI keywords everywhere gives you that information again. You've got your keywords suggested, and then you've got all your monthly searches. It's an immensely powerful tool. It's completely free. So if you guys leave here and download anything, get this. Google Search Console, we'll talk a little bit about that. But then again, you've got your monthly searches, your cost per click, and your competition. It gives you that information even back here. And that's amazing. When you're taking your SEO to the next level, that's a game changer. I believe that's it for the bullet points. You got any questions so far?
You wanna have this online, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a question. So these keywords, like where are these going? Like what content is this going into? Is this going like into articles or product descriptions or?
All of that. Whatever it is, whatever page you want ranking, that's the page that you want that information on. It can be through Amazon, you know how they have you go to a product and it's got the little description, all that's SEO'd out as well. Just a simple page, a blog, an article, homepage, anything you want to show up is what you want SEO'd out. Yes.
I have a question, hopefully not off topic, but portfolio pages,
Mm-hmm.
they're a little bit different.
Yes.
I don't know a lot about WordPress, and so we have them for videos.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do meta tag descriptions and all that, and try to rank for those as well?
You'll do that. It depends on how you're doing the video. We use
Just the video image, that's all that's on the page.
just a video image.
I mean the video.
Okay. Well, if you're using YouTube, if you're
Yes.
then you do all that through YouTube, and then so when someone's searching and Google puts your video up there, it'll kind of get a little description of it at that point, but that won't really show up on your web page.
If you're trying to rank a portfolio page, you're gonna need a lot of words on it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
'Cause I just discovered these, and I was like, they
I
have,
was-
some were turned on as searchable and some weren't, and I was like, okay.
Right.
So
Yeah, the more content, the better. If you're just gonna have some pictures and videos, you definitely want some text on there.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a couple paragraphs per person or per project.
This is like, okay, like, here's a page, and it's like, here's all our videos, and you click on each one,
Mhm.
and the video comes up at the top, but it's a little portfolio page, so it just shows the video,
Right, okay.
no text. It doesn't,
Right.
they don't want it.
Well, your best shot is to rank the main portfolio page, not the
Right,
offshoots.
I'm like, should I bother with those, or something?
I wouldn't bother with those. I would
Awesome.
focus on the main portfolio page, maybe add some text at the top, an intro, and maybe an outro at the bottom underneath it, so the user might not see the text at the bottom, they won't get that far, but
Right.
Google sees it,
Yeah.
and it'll help rank for that.
Good idea, okay, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, all right, we'll move on to
All right,
question.
so just out of curiosity, how many people have, came here for us to look at your websites? Because I know we put that on the meetup. Did anybody want to take a look at your website, show of hands? Okay, we're gonna set aside some time towards the end, so we'll get to that just so everybody knows. This is kind of the latter half of the talk, just go a little quicker probably. Basically, I'm just gonna talk about some plugins, some WordPress plugins that'll help you with your SEO. Yoast SEO is number one on the list. Very simple to download. You can just go to the plugins area of your the back end of your WordPress site. Okay. I don't know if all of you are familiar with that, but just click on plugins, type in Yoast SEO, and it'll pop up. It's got over 1 million active installs. It's a great plugin. It's easy to download. Go to the next slide. We don't use it for a lot, for everything that it can be used for. Like Joe said before, it's not really something that we think is necessary. We think good content, actually we know good content is what's going to help you with your SEO the most. But having said that, it'll help you with some certain things. It gets the basics. Yoast helps you get set up the basics. Your meta description, and you can edit it very easily. Edit your meta descriptions. Your meta description is this right here. When you're in the Google, when you see Google results, that's what this is. This is your meta description, okay? So that's what Yoast allows you to do really easily. Helps you set those up for each page that you're trying to rank.
And just a little side note for your meta description, this is what people see when they search on it, so you want to make that as enticing as possible. If Google likes to fluctuate, they'll put your site up, down, move stuff around. So when it does put you up here and someone is looking at it, you want them to know that in that meta description that what your site is really about, and you want to pull them in so they click that. So that's a pretty important.
Okay, Jetpack is another great plugin. This will help you speed up your site, among other things. It's made by Automatic. Not sure how many people know this, but Automatic, pretty much, Jim knows. Automatic runs WordPress. Matt Mullenweg is the CEO of Automatic, and so this is good software. In other words, it's always going to be updated. It's easy to download. Just go to your plugins, type in Jetpack, boom, it'll pop up. Download it. Setup is real simple with Jetpack. It just walks you right through the installation process. And two things that it really helps with is your image performance, okay? I believe it has CDN, and downtime monitoring, so you can monitor how much uptime you've got, or how much downtime you've got, I guess. Make sure that your host is working as they should be.
the image performance deals with the speed of your site. A lot of people, when they're building their site, they like to put pictures on their 4K resolution, and what that does is that just slows your site down immensely. This will optimize it, so this helps with the speed of your site.
Is that the Photon connection, their CDN?
I'm not sure.
I wasn't sure either, because they've changed their menu around so much that it's hard to tell which is which anymore, but
Yeah.
yeah, if it's the Photon, it works really well. It's a lot, actually take like shots of whatever that image is that you have and move it off to their CDN and deliver that instead of your image.
Instead of yours, yeah,
Yeah.
which is big.
Yeah, it's like
that's
it's
good.
like a free CDN.
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
it is.
I got a question on that
Yeah.
Jetpack. So when you, when you install that plugin and you add images to your site, does it automatically adjust images for speed, or do you have to go into that Jetpack section and upload the images there? Because I know there's like a...
Yeah, you'll have to go in and do the settings. I don't think it's gonna automatically do it, right? Jim,
I don't think so, not on the Photon. I mean, Photon does its part automatically, but you still need to optimize your images when you upload them. You don't want to like upload like a
huge
4 gigabyte image. You want to actually run it and do something first to optimize it down. There's a couple of plugins out there like Smush It and some of the others. We have a talk on WordPress.org. It's from way back. I think it's called Improving Performance.
Yeah.
That's great.
If you look,
Find
if you
on
search
there.
our site for Improving Performance, you'll find that one particular talk. It's got slides and a video, and it'll talk about how to do the image optimization part.
Okay, thank you.
Since you guys know a lot about Jetpack, I was at a WordCamp and I heard, the discussion about Jetpack was, it's a huge amount of files as WordPress itself. So
Yeah.
what is your take on,
Well,
make your site fast, but then you install Jetpack, which is like this enormous.
I've heard that too. But from what I understand, it doesn't fire up a lot of the plugins. So yeah, it's got the files there, but it's not gonna go through each and every single file. It's not gonna call all of that stuff with the, through PHP. So it's gonna improve your performance. That's the bottom line. So while yes, it's a big plugin, there's a lot of stuff in there that you're definitely not gonna need. The good things that it does do definitely outweighs the fact that it's such a big bloated plugin. So. All right, Google Analytics dashboard for WordPress. This is one that we put on all of our sites, okay? Google Analytics, obviously you can just download this in the plugin area. It's got over 1 million active installs, and it lets you get a snapshot of your Google Analytics. You have to set up an account, Google Analytics account, and you have to authorize the plugin through the back end, okay? But it's really simple. It's a simple process. And what this does, go ahead, Joe.
I was just saying, we suggest, it does limit you, if you don't want to just put it under your Google account, have a whole bunch of sites under your Google account, we suggest creating a Google Gmail with whatever site you're using. If it's whatever it is, hocuspocus.com, we suggest going to Gmail and doing a hocuspocus@gmail.com and using that specifically for your analytics.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, next. This is what you'll see on your dashboard once you download this plugin. So it gives you a nice quick snapshot of what's going on with your Google Analytics. You can see how many users have come, your page views, bounce rate, organic search, average time on page. This is a lot of the big things that you'll get from Google Analytics. Now it doesn't show you every single thing in your analytics. A quick look at the back end of your website, it gives you a snapshot of what's going on. It's a very useful plugin. Okay, so speaking of Google Analytics, so this is something that you have to have if you want to improve your SEO. You need to use Google Analytics. All right. You can see how much total traffic your site has. Okay. You can see your real-time users on Google Analytics, and you can find out exactly where all of your traffic is coming from. All of these things are very important. This is a snapshot of what Google Analytics uses. Do you guys use Google Analytics? Show of hands. How many? Good. So everybody's using. A lot of people are using Google
Use it, but
Analytics.
don't look at it.
Use it, but don't look at it. Yeah. We gotta look at it, Joe.
Install it, but don't ever look at it.
With Google Analytics, it's very powerful. It gives you so much useful information. Of course, you can get lost in that information too. You can overanalyze things. So, one thing that Google Analytics is bad about is that you can get spam in your analytics. If you guys use it, you probably, some of you have seen it. If you click on acquisition overview referral, now of course the slides will be up later, so you can look at this again. Sometimes you'll find spam results. Here's a couple. These are on our main website, stpetedesign.com. Freewebsitetraffic.com, that's just spam. HunterValleyTours.com, that's spam. You see Yellow Pages, we actually use Yellow Pages, so that's not spam. SearchPrivacy.co and WebBuilder LB. So you can see that there's some, these are just examples of spam that will show up in your Google Analytics. So just make sure that you take that into account when you're looking at all your results, because it will definitely skew them, no question about it. All right, probably my favorite SEO tool is Google Search Console. It allows you to see what keywords you rank for, and it's a must-have tool for SEO research. So how many of you guys are using that? Search Console?
No use.
Yeah,
I know it's bad.
This one you have to have. I think it's even better than analytics, personally. What it does is, this is the dashboard. This is just the what you see when you first log in. It'll show you impressions from all of your searches, how many people see it, okay, when they type in a search term, and it shows how many clicks that you get from each keyword. So here you can see these are some of this is again for our stpetedesign.com website. These are some of the actual search terms that when people type them into Google, this is what they're clicking through to our site on. You can see how many impressions we have, okay? You can see the position that they're in, and you can see the amount of clicks. And Joe, I think this is actually using the
keywords,
right?
Yeah, the keywords everywhere. Again, it's right here.
So this actually looks a little bit different unless you have that browser extension. But it shows you, if you have a browser extension, it shows you the volume as well as cost per click and competition, which I don't really understand exactly how that one works, but whatever. It shows you the clicks and the impressions. That's huge. It's gigantic.
Yeah, definitely. And a cool little thing you can do with this info is you obviously got your position here. That tells you on average, 508 compliance testing tool free, that long tail keyword is in the spot on average number 10. So it says we're pretty much on the end of the first page, beginning of second page. What you can do with this info, and of course if your volume is enough, and if you feel like that's a buyer's keyword that's relevant to you, and you can pick keywords, we've done this multiple times, on the second, third page that are doing pretty good, and do some key on-page SEO with that phrase to whatever page it is that's already ranking, and it'll just bump it up. Because Google already likes you, you're on the second or third page, so it's a lot easier to grab something that's on the second or third page, add a little SEO to it to get it to come up for those last little bits.
Yeah, you're not guessing if you have this tool. That's the cool
Correct,
thing.
that's-
You're not guessing. You know what you're ranking for, and you know what you need to do to boost it up a little bit. So, yes.
Just draw the question for me. I'm in a saturated market, which is merchant processing. I use a long tail keyword on my on my keyword search. I notice if I shorten the word, maybe half, I still notice sometimes I'm still ranking on page 1. What do you recommend there? Me bringing it down more, or what is that?
Okay, so I would say long tail keywords are going to be easier to rank for than short keywords usually. So but you're saying that the opposite?
Well, I notice now, like if I shrink it down, maybe I think I have about 9 as a long tail keyword. I can bring it down to about 5 or 4. Sometimes I still see it on the first page.
Okay.
So,
So you're ranking for the short and the long term.
right, using just that one.
Yeah.
So my question to you, should I, because based on the competitive market, should I bring the keyword, the long tail down now?
Not necessarily. It depends on the keyword. And because sometimes that long tail keyword can be more of a buying keyword. What's an example? Like tasty cakes. Okay. If somebody just types that in, they're probably looking for tasty cakes, right? But if they want tasty cakes near me, then you're looking at, it's a little longer tail keyword that still has tasty cakes in it, but you know they're looking to buy because they're like, where are they near me? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's gonna depend on the keyword itself. It's not necessarily gonna be,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, I get what you're
You
saying.
just have to make that call yourself, which one is more of a buying keyword.
Okay.
And go for that.
And
I probably need to, because I'm still learning it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
open source console, so.
well, I would suggest if your page if you're ranking for a long tail keyword and about the half size version of that, Google knows already. You really don't have to do a whole lot because it's taking that long tail keyword phrase, and especially now with this major update they just did, Google knows. It knows what basically you're trying to convey with that long tail keyword, and what it's doing, it's giving different variations of that. So keep your long tail keyword because that gives Google more tools to work with per se, more info to work with to give you more variations of that. But do research on that. You know, if you get keywords everywhere, put that into Google Search Console, and you'll see how many people are actually searching for that.
Okay.
And see what your competition is. Open up an incognito tag, type that keyword in, see who else is ranking, go to their pages. Because a lot of people rank accidentally. If you find someone who's ranking accidentally, it's much easier to beat them. If you see someone who's clearly ranking for that, you know, you might want to consider your fight, you know? So.
Okay.
All right, so that's, yeah, go ahead, Joe. So that's the end of our presentation. Do we have any general SEO questions? We'd love to take them actually, so.
I do.
Yes.
I have a particular problem I need to solve. Say that a new organization website was just published this past week, U.S. Brain Tumor Association. So I've been through most of the steps, but not all the steps you recommended. And so Google search will not turn up the site.
No.
It will turn up the site name with a qualifier, like a topic. If I put it U.S. Brain Tumor Association and 5G technology virus, boom, I got 3 or 4 pages because they got content for that. But just the site title, just the main focus keyword phrase, nothing.
Right.
And I recognize when you're talking about
Medical terms, unattainable,
And
it's
brain
gonna send
tumor
someone's
is just out
web,
there.
and, yeah, because Google, stuff like that, that's
Yeah.
important stuff. Google's gonna send it to sites they know
Yeah.
are reputable.
So I can get American Brain Tumor Station, I can get California Brain Tumor Station, but I cannot get U.S. Brain Tumor Station.
Right, and when you add, like we're talking, some extra words to that, it makes it a little more long tail keyword, and he pulls it a little bit out of the medical when it says brain tumors 5G, that gives us something else to latch onto besides just the brain tumor. And another thing too, you know, it's a debate and people saying Google Sandbox or not.
Yeah.
When you first make a site, it's really hard to rank. In all of my experiences, the only way I've gotten the site to rank in the first few months is with the KGR method. Beyond that, I mean, and you're looking at
Yeah.
possibly 6 months, you know?
Even then, it takes.
If it's a local business and you do the Google Places, or, you know, Google My Business, whatever, that piece of it, if you do that connection, I've gotten businesses and the sites to actually rank pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also easier for that portion. Google will send that up. That's how you'll get the little map with your
Yeah.
name on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes Google in the search page will give you that map, the Google map with like the top 5 people in that, top 5 businesses. That's how you get attached to that, and you're more likely to rank, you know, not so much for content, but with your Google
At least
business.
locally, yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, and that's where you actually have to register with Google. I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yes,
Google
yeah,
letter, and you have to
yeah.
send it
You've
back.
gotta get the
They
index
mail
card
you
and the whole bit,
they mail you something.
I've done a lot of new business sites or sites that were being taken over, and they hadn't done most of that work. And
Mhm.
once they did that piece of it, they actually started ranking a lot better and local results anyway. So that's
Right,
really
not
good.
the results we want, but we are starting to get results.
And Search Console, you can show right there, hey, you're ranking on the 5th page for
Yeah.
this.
We take
for
screenshots
this,
when we send them to
yeah.
our customers, and we do monthly screenshots so you can see what's going up, what's going down, and we'll say, we're gonna focus on this keyword, and we build from that, you know, but just, yeah, there's nothing you can
So
do.
you're saying
That's great.
about a
Thanks
year
very
to,
much.
Yes.
you're saying a year to get it ranked like the first page?
Well, yeah, you know, Google Sandbox, they say, is 6 months, and that's a mythological beast, you know, people argue all day long whether that exists or not, but generally, when you make a new site, you're looking at probably at least 4 to 6 months before Google really says you're worth the first few pages.
If it's any kind of competitive keyword, it's gonna be 9 to 12 months, and that's if you're
Right.
working at it.
That's where the KGR comes in, because it finds real low competition keywords and URLs, and Google actually, it finds underserved markets, so Google wants to push that content up. So that's actually an easier way. You can rank within days with KGR.
Elaine, sorry, Elaine.
You know, I've heard, instead of waiting to start ranking organically like you're talking, to, in the beginning, buy ads, you know?
Yeah, yeah, like Google AdWords or
Spend money.
Bing or.
Depends on what you're trying to do. That typically doesn't
Yeah.
work for affiliate sites, stuff like that, but yeah, if you're selling a product or something,
Or
AdWords,
service,
or
local
service,
business,
yeah, AdWords.
something like
words.
that.
You know, people forget about, everybody always thinks about Google AdWords. Bing's big too. It's not Google, but Bing's big too, and your cost per click is a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, they're much less
You know,
expensive.
and sometimes Bing will give you more clients than you need. You don't. Sometimes you might not need 10,000 people searching. You might only need 1,000 or 500. And if that's the case, Bing's the way to go, because it'll send a lower amount of traffic, but it's at the fraction of the cost. So.
I have a question about rankings. What if you have a site that maybe you've had for a really long time, you haven't done any SEO on it? Does that speed up the ranking process, just the fact that it's been on the web for so long?
I think it helps.
Yeah, it's much better than starting a
So
fresh
it's
site.
been crawled and all
You can
that.
you can add pages to that and content to that, and Google will crawl it and will use those results.
PageRank is part of it's actually the backbone of their algorithm. And so if you've got a site that's 15 years old, Google's gonna just automatically like that better than if you just started it last week. So yeah, it definitely plays into it for sure.
And a good way too, if you're adding new content to that, you can go to Google, I think it's Analytics or Search Console, and tell Google to research your site. It'll research your site, so
Oh, yeah.
it'll grab that content fast. Now, if you're under 6 months, it can search your site all day long. It's still not going to rank you. But if you have a site that's been around a while, that might actually help a
Or
little
if you
bit.
get hacked or something. We actually were hacked at one point and didn't realize it on one of our, actually on multiple sites. So once we finally got everything fixed, we had to go back and have Google through analytics recrawl. our
Tell them
sites.
we fixed it and then
Yeah.
recrawl
So
and all
they
that
knew
stuff.
that you'd been hacked?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then they knew we were clean, and they started ranking again. So yeah, that dropped the rankings.
How fast did they recognize you being hacked? Because I've been hacked before, but then, I was
Faster
using
than
a
us.
tool that said that Google didn't see it, so I was like,
Right. I mean, it was pretty fast. It was within a week.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So it was probably faster than that, but that's when we were like, oh, started realizing what's going on.
That was a
So
mess.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a mess.
You got any more questions?